Hey guys, what's up? How's it going? This is Easy Drawings, and today I'm going to go over kind of how to draw a flexing arm, kind of a comic book style way to do that. I'm going to be using this. This is a Pigma pen basically. So let's kind of get into some concepts of a flexing arm, of the arm flexing. So with any particular muscle on any body, almost always it is it's almost like a system of pulleys when you kind of look at the arm per se. So let's just say we have the forearm, the elbow, and then the upper arm, and let's just say you have the hand down here. As this pulls up, or not as it pulls up really, yeah, as it pulls up, this top muscle right here will activate. That will activate as it pulls up. And because of that, it will kind of, and even these will activate a little bit as well. And as it's already up, so you got that, let's say you have this up already. Let's say you already got the bicep there. As that is up, as it pushes down, because normally you're pushing against something, this down here will activate as it's pushing down. So when you straighten your arm again, if you're pushing against resistance, hopefully you can, as it's pushing downward, the tricep will activate. The lower portion of the arm will activate. So I almost kind of consider it like, it looks almost like maybe like a puppeteer strings. I like to think of the arm like that. So like any muscle that, and same thing goes with the wrist as well. As this goes up the wrist, these muscles will flex, and same thing as it goes down, the muscles down here will flex toward the bottom. Hopefully that concept kind of makes sense. I'll go over that obviously in later videos, like in super crazy detail if we're going through every single muscle. But right now this is really all you need to know. That. Oh, one other thing. If you're drawing like superheroes, sometimes people get by this all the time. If you look at Ed McGuinness, you look at certain comic book artists. Normally, when a muscle flexes, it's not on both sides. That's actually, for example, if you were to, let me get on the page. We're gonna show this. Oops. Anyway, so if you were to, let's just say the muscle, let's just say the bicep is flexed.
That's kind of the cool part about inking and stuff like that. You can throw things in and take things out as you wish. But it's.
I said the bicep is flexed.
The viewers find
the tricep will be flat-ish. I mean, it'll be big, but it will be straight on this side, where it will be round on that side. And same thing goes with all these other ones as well. If it's big on this side, it will be flat on the other side. The reason I say that is because some people will draw pillowy muscles.
Well.
You know what I mean? And they'll look
I'm trying to vignette it, but
weird. And I see a lot of beginners do that. They'll draw every muscle activated on both sides.
More substance.
Like I said, some guys can get by with it because they know how to make it flow, but for the most part, it'll just make it look kind of fat and weird.
O2 right there, O2.
And it's also kind of impossible. It really is impossible to do that.
And I'm going to be throwing in small lines.
Obviously this is an exaggerated universe. It doesn't have to be possible.
At the edge of
To give you kind of an example about that, is
it's all just kind of nitpicking.
If you get a cramp on your leg, let's just say this is a leg. If you get a cramp on your leg in real life, right? Let's just say you get a cramp right here in your calf.
Really kind of go over the small.
The best way to get rid of that cramp, or at least alleviate it, is to flex your foot up like that, and it'll start activating these muscles on this side. And then as those activate, it deactivates this muscle over here.
Anyways, guys, that's pretty much the end of this. I really appreciate you guys watching.
So that kind of shows you, like in practice, it will deactivate one side.
If you did learn something, please do me a favor.
The other side is
the only
active.
thing I ask is that you
just kind of remember that.
Share this video.
So if it's
because that's
pillowy on that side,
guys.
Straight on this side.
I appreciate that,
and obviously it can be one or the other as well. Like you can go, maybe this is active,
a lot more content.
this is straight.
Sorry, I took so long.
This is active. This is straight. You know, it's
Anyways,
just the opposing muscle will
thanks
not
a
be
lot.
activated.
I appreciate it.
Anyways,
we'll talk
hopefully you
next time.
understand those concepts. I'm gonna go over the front side of the arm really quick, and then we'll go into kind of the kind of shading of it with pen here for these. So let me grab my pencil. Anyways, so I'm gonna start with pencil. I'm gonna do both the front side and the back side. The pencil I'm using right now is a Derwent Graphic F, and it doesn't really matter what pencil I'm using. I'm just gonna use it for the lay-in. It's not gonna be, you know, super, you know, super important. Because I'm just gonna be throwing lines like this. I'm throwing a thin line right here. I'm always starting with a tube-like structure. Drawing the hand as a very simple shape. I start thinking of everything as very, very simple. And then I'm going into the shoulder as well, thinking that shoulder is a very simple shape. So that's going to be the inside of the arm right here. And then I will also draw the outer side of the arm. So, and I'm just going to draw that reverse-wise. And we're not going to go over every single muscle. I will go over definitely a few that I think are necessary to kind of know. But I'm not going to go over them in detail. I will do another video entirely on every single muscle of the anatomy if you want, you know. But right now we're just going to do this. And then we'll go over like the back later and stuff like that. But right now we're just going over like arm. But the shoulder's included in that. So let me start with the inner arm, and this is the outer arm. The inner arm right here, and I'm starting with this right here, the Micron 05. I'm starting with the small one. I'm going to start with right here the deltoid. The deltoid goes right here. It kind of what it does is it actually attaches to the top of the shoulder. You can kind of feel it on yourself. There's this flat little shelf that it attaches into. So I draw that flat little shelf. And the deltoid's made up of 3 muscles. I talked about it a little bit in the other one. There's a mid one, there's one on the back, and there's one on the front. And so the one on the front really ties into the pectoralis. So you have this split right here. And I'm gonna, you know, it'll be more obvious later. You'll have this split here with the pectoralis where they kind of come together. And it almost looks like they're attaching in the same place. So you'll see that a lot. It'll merge. But I like putting this split there because I think it looks cool. And then you have the bicep, which is the famous bicep. And there's different shaped biceps in, you know, that people have. And most of that is obviously how much you work out, but it's also very genetic. In bodybuilding and things of that sort, there's this thing they try to achieve. It's called the peak of the bicep, that very top peak. You know, this very like, boom, that kind of like Popeye-esque peak. Sometimes you cannot achieve that no matter what you do, no matter what kind of steroids you do, no matter anything. Sometimes you just can't do it, you know. You just won't have it, and it's just genetic. So what some people will have done in the bodybuilding community is they will inject this like bizarre thing called synthol, a tiny, tiny bit at the top to give them that peak. That synthol will eventually, I think, go away or something like that. I don't know everything about it because I think it's kind of gross that they do that. But anyways, but yeah, that's just for people who've already, you know, it's for people like in shows and stuff. I just thought that was an interesting fact. And then the bicep is made up of 2 muscles, obviously. And the bicep, bi is 2. Goes in here, attaches into the armpit, or yeah, that just kind of on the it's underneath the. It attaches over here underneath the deltoid. I won't quite go into that kind of detail yet. There's always this other muscle right here, and I forgot the name of it. I'm afraid I forgot the name, but there's always another small little muscle there. I'll go over that in the anatomy video. And then there's a tricep. It's weird. That's a good example of me knowing like what it looks like. I just don't remember what the name of it is. There's the tricep down here, which is opposing. It connects to the elbow. It's not going to be activated. It's not going to be totally flat either, though, because he is muscular. By activated, I mean it's not popping out like it's, you know. And then you have the lat, which is really kind of behind there. And it goes down. I'm going to go into the arm. The forearm, there's a ton of muscles in here. And I don't really know. It creates kind of a large, kind of like mass right here toward this area. And then it tapers into the wrist. Let's go to the elbow. The elbow is a landmark. A landmark meaning that it's a bony protrusion you can see basically from the outside. Like you can, that's bone really, the elbow. And you can tell. It's not like this is meat. This is a bony protrusion that you can tell, that you can see stick very close to the surface of the skin. And that's what you call a landmark. Here's another landmark. Toward the top would be the wrist. This, I think, is the radius at the very end. And we are going to go in and draw kind of a bald hand, like a fist. We haven't, this isn't a hand drawing video. I'm just going to put a balled up fist, really. I'm thinking about it within as shapes, though. And the thumb over there. So we have the general kind of, you know, what's going to be going on, per se. I think maybe his forearm could be a little bit bigger. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna erase. Oops, this eraser is freaking gross. Let me see. The eraser. I'm gonna erase the lines underneath. I'm going to finish this one first and go to the next one. That'll be my workflow. I'm going to grab the bigger one right here. This is, oh no, is that the big one? No. This one, the graphic one, this is a thicker, same color. It's kind of browny color. And I'm going to go into the arm here. I'm going to start throwing in a little bit of shadow. And it's very similar to the other video if you saw the other video. If you haven't seen the other video, check it out as well. I am going to throw a coarse shadow along the bottom of the arm to kind of, and the reason for that is to reveal information. As well as right there, I'm going to throw this cast shadow underneath the arm. I was going to say, as I said in the other video, superhero stuff like that tends to have this reflected light bouncing from below it as well. So the shadow pattern won't be just a dull, like, black shadow pattern. It isn't really like that in real life either, though, too. There's always light bouncing off surfaces of every type. The elbow is really square, by the way. Watch out for that. That can be kind of annoying because some people's elbows are shaped differently. So I would really look into the elbow if you're struggling with that. Just look at a bunch of pictures of them and try to draw them. Oops. Right here as well. The bicep itself will have a little bit of a coarse shadow. continuing to go into this. Right here, same thing with a hand. Hand has its own kind of core shadow going on. Anyways, so I ended up doing was some of the core shadows here I left it on the bottom, but I didn't do it for some on here. I just kind of made it like a solid line. And you can throw in like a ton of those too. There's exaggerations. You can throw that split in the bicep, right, which comes toward the bottom. Some people have that split if they're really, really lean. Yeah, it's essentially kind of this form of it. And sometimes I will bolden the outer line because I think that just makes it pop more, makes it more graphic. So anyways, let's do the other side right now, and we will do this in oops, ouch. Anyways, let's start the outer side of the arm, and the outer side of the arm is, let's kind of go into the other. All right, cool. Outer side, deltoid. The deltoid attaches right here. You'll see it attaches between the tricep and it's almost like a mid-arm between the tricep and bicep. So you do see those attachments more. So right there. And there are some back muscles here, which I'm not going to quite go over in this video. It would be confusing. But I'm just going to throw the kind of the lat over here. Tricep. And then the bicep, same way. And it's a little bit more behind as well, because there's the inner and the outer bicep. Let's give him that peak a little bit. Not a lot. And then they have this muscle toward the center between that, and I forget what that muscle's called, to be honest. I think it's a brachialis. Don't quote me on that yet. The tricep ties in here, the tendon. Flat portion of the elbow. The wrist. Those flexors right there. Outer portion of the arm. Nothing to flex there. And same thing, balled fist. And like I said, we'll go over hands another time, but I'm going to put that as a placeholder more than anything else. Usually I just kind of look at my own fist. And then I really want to throw the brachioradialis. I talked about in the other one. Kind of connects the arm on the outer side of the arm. Let me go in, and I think I have everything laid out for the most part. gonna go erase these pencil lines. I'm gonna go in with the graphic one, and I'm gonna start doing almost the same thing as the other side. I'm gonna go in, start darkening some things out. Thinking of these as individual shapes in a way, but I'm usually trying to trace that shadow pattern where that line's going to be, and then I figure out whether that's going to be a core or not. You know, whether that's going to be a core shadow or what is it really going to be. I usually do that stuff afterward. Anyways, I started using a little bit more kind of wider cross hatching as I kind of like this with larger muscles. It's a little bit different than that. I decided to just kind of use this kind of larger cross hatching for larger areas, and smaller areas would have smaller cross hatching. Anyways, that's pretty much the end of it, guys. I appreciate you waiting around. That's kind of a flexed arm. I hope it was at least a little bit enjoyable for you. If it was, please like this video and share it. Sharing it is the best thing you could ever do. Like, it was amazing. And I'll just keep producing videos like this if you want. So let me know, guys, and I will talk to you next time.